Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2015 BMW X3, but the same video would apply for a BMW X4 of the same year. Today we're going to show you how to install our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto kit. As you can see, it's already installed into this vehicle. It's paired to iPhone wirelessly. You can also pair it to your Android phone wirelessly. We can control it with the original controls here. You will not lose any functionality from your original system. You can easily press and hold the back button to switch to the original BMW system. Nothing gets disabled. Your rear view camera will still work when you put your car into the reverse. Our kit works with the original BMW microphone for phone calls, Siri, and Google Assistant, so you will not have to install any external microphones. So the tools that you're going to need is a panel removal tool. This is our hook tool and a T20 Torx. And of course, you're going to need our product. So first thing, we will remove the vents and we will get underneath with our tool. Once you unclipped it, you're just gonna wiggle it out. Once you get about this far, pull it out carefully. Here we will release the cable, so it gives us more length. We will disconnect the start button. So here we're gonna squeeze this clip on the side, so here and here, and that way we can release it. There you go. Over here there are two more, so this white connector, you can just pull on it and it will disconnect. This black one, there's a clip, just one at the bottom, which you have to press and release. So I pressed this one, and at this point we can put the vents away. With our panel tool, we're going to remove this plastic piece underneath the HVAC panel. And it's basically held on these two clips, and we will just move the whole thing to the side. So here we're going to remove 3 bolts on top first. Now there are 2 more bolts at the bottom. There's one right here and one closer to the driver. Now we're going to remove the 2 bolts that hold the screen. So there's one closer to the passenger, one closer to the driver. And if you're going to notice, the 2 bolts that hold the screen are the only 2 different bolts. They're a little bit shorter. So all the other bolts we're going to remove are this length. Now we can pull the HVAC panel, and here are 2 connections that you have to disconnect. So first you have to press on the clip and then slide the lock open to release it, same as this one. And now we can put it to the side. We can now use our T20 again. So there are 2 bolts on each side. They hold the head unit in place, and we're going to remove them. Now we will tilt the screen and we will take it out, and there is a connection at the back which we have to disconnect. So you're just going to press on the clip and carefully wiggle it out, and we can put the screen away. So now we will show you what comes with our kit and everything that we will be installing today. So you have your main module, which we will hide behind the screen. We have our harness that we need to connect at the back of the head unit and then into our module. We have our video cable, we have our USB cable, and we have our wireless antenna. So now we will show you how to install all of these parts. We can grab the head unit and carefully take it out, because we will show you where we're going to make our harness connection, and it will be right here. So at this point we can disconnect the original one, just undo the clip and remove it. And what also you can do, you can use a piece of microfiber cloth to cover your interior, so you can carefully rest the head unit on its side. So this is the original connection, which we just took out, and important part about it is that it has the fiber optic cable in it, and this is this one right here, as you can see, speaking through there. So if you don't transfer this cable over, you're not gonna get any sound. So we'll transfer it to our harness. First you need to unclip this clip to take it out, and it will go into our harness. We will take the female portion of our harness. We will plug in the original one. So the lock has to be unlocked. You have to push it almost all the way in, and then you lock it in place. This is the male side, which will go inside the stereo. But first we have to connect our fiber optic cable into it. So you will connect it into the same spot on the outer edge right here. Make sure that it clips in, and it's in. Then we're gonna unlock this connection. There's a clip right here. And then we can carefully put it in. So same thing, you have to slide it in the open position, almost all the way in, and then you lock it in place. So this is the other end of our harness, and our goal is to bring it all the way up behind the screen. We first have to push it through here. So we're gonna be feeding it through. We're gonna get most of the length through. And now we will go up and then over there. So once it's installed here, make sure that it's going to be in the middle of the vents and not in the way of the vents. Before putting the head unit back, we will also feed this USB cable, and this end that plugs into the module will run all the way to the back of the screen. This other end we're going to have come out underneath the glove box right there, and we will show you how to do that. So there are 3 bolts underneath. There's one right here, one in the middle, and one over there. So we'll just remove all 3. Once the bolts are removed, you can use your panel removal tool, this one, and you can see we can drop this panel through. This way, over here, we can use that space and get our wire and have it come up, and we will meet it on the inside of the car. So we pushed the cable through underneath the glove box, and now we have it on the inside behind the stereo. So we will do the exact same thing. We will feed it here so we can bring it behind the original screen. There you go, that's the cable. And here on the inside, you just make sure that you see it's hanging off. Make sure that you put it to the side of the bracket, so when you're putting the head unit back, you don't squish this cable by the head unit. So as you can see, it's not in the way of anything. So now you have the cable here, and at this point we can put this piece back, and we're gonna reinstall the 3 bolts back. So at this point we can put the head unit back. We have our main harness connected, and we ran the USB. So a hint would be that when you're putting everything back, you should push this end of the harness towards the passenger side, as there is some open space towards that way and at the bottom. So we put the harness towards the right, and now we can put the stereo back in. As you can see, as long as you can push it so we can bolt it down and it lines up with these plastic clips, then it's good. So this is our module. We're gonna start making all the connections into it. Over here there are some dip switch settings. Your module is already gonna come preset, so for this particular car you just need the switch number 5 on. And we will first connect the power harness. We also, before we forget, we're going to connect the USB. And now we will do the video connection. So as you remember, we removed this connection from the back of the original screen. So you will match it to the burgundy, to the LVDS in of our kit, and you will just plug it in. Make sure it goes all the way in. So this is the video cable that comes with our kit. So one edge is straight, the other one is at 90 degrees. The straight one we will plug in to our module, and this one will go to the back of the original screen. So first we will do the module and make sure it goes all the way in. Before connecting the screen, we should connect our Wi-Fi antenna. And at this point, we will hide the module. So there's plenty of space here behind. The antenna you can push towards the right. It doesn't need to be on the exterior. You will also make sure that these wires here in between the vent are not in the way of the vent. Take your time when you're positioning the module here, and what you should end up with is just this video cable. So here you will just plug it in, and now you can put everything back. So the screen, you first have to tilt it so it hooks on there. So it's back in, and again make sure that these wires are towards the side. So in order to test everything before we bolt everything down, we have to connect the HVAC panel, and we will reconnect the vents with the start button, but we will only connect the start button. That's everything that is necessary for testing. You can use maybe one bolt to secure it so it doesn't keep on falling on you. And this is our start button. We'll just rest it here. We're first gonna test by just connecting our lightning cable to the USB that we installed here before we pair the kit wirelessly. So now we will turn on the ignition. So in the original system, we will choose the sound source as AUX, and then here we will press and hold the back button, and we'll switch to CarPlay because now we have our iPhone connected. You will check the controls to make sure that you can control everything, and we're checking the sound for music. So the music is playing. We can go back, and at this point we can turn off the car and finish the installation by bolting everything back. So now we're gonna assemble everything. We already put in one bolt here. We're gonna put 3 more back. Now we're gonna put the HVAC panel back, but make sure that you have all your wires before you, so you have to have 2 here, 1 for the start button and 2 at the back of the HVAC panel. Match the colors, so white goes with gray, black with black. And there are 3 bolts on top and 2 bolts at the bottom, which we have to put back. And remember, as I said, there are 2 short bolts, and they are meant for the screen. Make sure to use the long ones. Now we have 2 bolts at the bottom left. Then we need to put back the bolts for the screen. So here we will do these ones first. So first the white one. So once you have it here, we will also clip. So this one came out when we took it out. It also came out from here, which we're gonna put back right now. As you can see, this clip came out. It was supposed to be between the vents, and that's where we're gonna stick it back. So it's just like before we removed it. There's no wires in front of the vents, and at this point you can carefully put the vents back. Go, and you push them in to clip them in their spot. The last would be this piece. So first you have to insert it here, and then we're gonna clip it up. So at this point the installation is complete. We also went to the settings of our kit and we paired our iPhone wirelessly. You can also pair your Android phone wirelessly to the system. And again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits, and now you can enjoy Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in your BMW X3 or X4. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.